Hey y'all, Zach McDonald, your real estate agent at Real Property Associates, and today I want to answer the question, what is a contingency? And a contingency, simply put, is an event or circumstance that happens in the future that's really unable to be predicted. It's not something you can know for sure. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but it could. And so in a contract, when you write in a contingency, it's a clause that protects you in the event that one of these circumstances happens. And so I like to explain this as the but in a contract, the B-U-T but in the contract. So essentially what you're saying as a buyer is, I'm committing to purchasing this property. This is when you make your offer, but I would like to, and then you insert the contingency. And the most common contingencies are a financing contingency, and that's where you make your offer contingent or subject to financing. And typically we'll have all that buttoned up front, so you'll know that yes, I will qualify, but the financing contingency protects you in the event that maybe you lose your job or your financial circumstance changes, and this would allow you to get out of the purchase. The inspection contingency is also very common. The inspection contingency allows you to inspect the property and decide if you do want to move forward, and if there's any issues with the house, potentially negotiate some of the work orders or fixes with the seller. Now, in our market, it's common to do the inspection ahead of time, so buyers don't necessarily have an inspection contingency, and that's really what a seller would like to see in a contract. And then the other contingency that's fairly common is a title contingency, and this is actually built into the real estate contract, but it states that title must be clear in order to close, meaning there aren't any liens against the property or unpaid taxes, things like that. That would be an example of a lien. But the idea is that the property is free and clear, and you are not walking into anything that you didn't know about up front. The fun part about a contingency in today's market is sellers don't want to see them. And so as a buyer, the reason you would have a contingency is to protect yourself, and sellers, quite honestly, would rather an offer favor them and favor their needs, which is less protection for you and more assurance for them that the deal is going to close. So oftentimes in today's market, we find ourselves actually making an offer that has fewer contingencies, which would make your offer more competitive if there are multiple offers. And of course, in a more of a buyer's market, and I talked about this in another video, you would have more contingencies to protect yourself in the event that there were any kind of, any issues, any financing issues, inspection issues. So as a buyer, we're always trying to get you the most amount of contingencies, but in today's market, the conversation is really how much protection do you want, and where is it most important that you're protected? I find many clients of mine will end up waiving their financing contingency or waiving their inspection contingency, and those are things that set them apart from other buyers. Now, both of those things you can have a lot of assurance up front. The inspection portion, you can do your inspection early, or in the financing situation, you can actually get an underwritten approval up front. So essentially all you need to do is have an appraisal from the bank in order to get your financing. So those are just some of the things that you would want to protect yourself against. But again, a contingency is something that happens in the future, and it's an unforeseeable event that you can't predict. And these contingencies or buts in the contract allow you to protect yourself in the event that something goes wrong. Again, I love to answer your questions, so if you have any real estate related questions, please comment below, and I'd love to answer those in another video. Hope you're doing well, and bye for now.